Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your Jis News for Friday, January 24. A leading investment firm is predicting a stellar year for Jamaica if it remains on its fiscally prudent economic path. Managing Director of Oppenheimer Company, Gregory Fisher, says his firm is optimistic that government will be able to tap into the international capital markets as long as it continues to comply with the IMF program.
Kudos for the Jamaica government for displaying the needed courage to accomplish this feat. And I know all too well that it has not been pleasant.
Mr. Fisher argues that fiscal adjustment in the public sector will free up money for private sector investment in areas such as tourism and the logistics hub, supporting economic growth.
I'm not expecting a sudden rise in Jamaica GDP growth rates, but these factors will hopefully build the needed economic momentum that has been greatly missed for decades and finally get Jamaica on a higher path of growth.
Meanwhile, the Portia Simpson Miller-led administration says it accepts responsibility for the tough but necessary decisions attached to the country's agreement with the IMF.
We take full responsibility for the policy actions which are contained in the extended fund facility, and we fully believe that in the long term, true benefits will accrue to the society.
Even as the IMF agreement focuses on improving the fiscal situation, Mrs. Simpson Miller said the government was unyielding in providing maximum protection for the most vulnerable in society. The Prime Minister was speaking Tuesday at the start of the Jamaica Stock Exchange's 9th annual Capital Markets and Investment Forum. And even as the government moves ahead with its plan to revolutionize the economy with the implementation of the Global Logistics Hub initiative, there's a call for patience with the expected results.
Not everything will happen overnight. The implementation of this initiative is a long-term undertaking, and not all the benefits will be realized immediately.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller was speaking at a two-day Jamaica Logistics Hub Sensitization Symposium held at the Jamaica Conference Center in Kingston. Government has lowered the import duty on specific products in keeping with the omnibus tax regime which came into effect earlier this month. It involves 4 pieces of legislation that replaced the discretionary waiver system by creating a rule-based tax incentive program for businesses and individuals, one of which is the Customs and Tariffs Revision Amendment Order Resolution.
The legislation brought forward the reduction in import duties for some commodities such as auto parts, jewelry, new tires, televisions above 32 inches and watches.
For example, the import duty on auto parts has been reduced from 40% to 30%, the duty on jewelry has been cut by 30%, and new tires attract 10% less duty than they did before. The technical team at the National Works Agency, the NWA, is working overtime to open roads cut off to traffic following heavy rains in St. Mary. On a tour of badly damaged areas in the parish Tuesday, State Minister for Transport, Works and Housing, Richard Azan, said about 80% of the affected roads had been restored to a condition where residents could enter or leave the impacted communities. He said a report would be presented to the Transport and Works Minister, Dr. Omar Davies, for submission to Cabinet on Monday.
There are some areas that are totally cut off. We have to get the technical people to do the proper assessment and to see what short-term and long-term measure we can make.
Mr. Azan said while drainage improvement was being looked at as part of the long-term plans, part of the problem was improper building and garbage disposal. The full cost of the damage is being calculated, but a preliminary estimate by local government authorities is in the region of $180 million. The NWA expects the final figure to be more extensive. And finally, persons seeking to adopt children are being asked to do so through the proper channels. Youth and Culture Minister Lisa Hanna has made the plea in light of an increasing number of prospective adoptees making private arrangements with parents.
The state has a responsibility to make absolutely certain that at every step of the way that the child that is to be adopted is in need of being removed from his or her biological parental custody, that the prospective adopters are suitable in every way to become parents.
Minister Hannah was speaking at a recent press conference relating to the island's adoption program. She said a public education campaign would unfold to inform the public on how to adopt children. The Child Development Agency and Child Adoption Board are also reviewing the Adoption Act to eliminate impediments and streamline the process, and additional staff will be hired to clear the backlog of the 311 child adoption applications. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.